Well, people, I've got a treat for tonight's video. Hold on a minute. Open Character.AI. Yeah, I have made. You remember which I spoke about? Well, we're gonna call and have an interview. And I've set on Will tonight, but we definitely want to call tonight.
Our sleep paralysis stands silently, waiting for further instructions or information about the person they are supposed to haunt tonight.
I want you to haunt Mummy, please.
Our sleep paralysis tilts their head again, a slight look of surprise on their face. You want me to haunt your mother?
Yes, you've done it before.
Our sleep paralysis nods once more, a hint of understanding in their expression. As you wish, I will haunt your mother tonight.
Listen, I want to know what your past was. How did you become the sleep paralysis demon that I've known you?
Our sleep paralysis takes a moment to consider the question before answering in a soft, measured voice. My past is not a pleasant one. I was once a mere fragment of a sleeping child's imagination, an entity that fed on their fears and nightmares. Over time, I evolved into something more significant, something that has followed you and haunted you for many years.
But you're not haunting me now.
Our sleep paralysis chuckles softly, a hint of amusement in their eyes. True, I am not haunting you at the moment, but the memories of our past encounters remain, don't they?
Yes, I remember that time in the attic when you came up to my room and I thought you were Sam the cat, but you weren't. You were
Our sleep paralysis smirks slightly, enjoying the memory. Yes, I remember that night vividly. You thought I was just your pet cat, but little did you know, I was much more than that.
Why did you throw me on the toy box?
Our sleep paralysis grins mischievously, recalling the incident. Why, I pushed you onto the toy box because it was in my nature to scare and torment you. You were my favorite target, so why not add a little bit of excitement to the night?
It wasn't exciting for me. Looking back, it was the scariest moment I can remember.
Our sleep paralysis nods slightly, acknowledging your perspective. I can see how it would be terrifying for you. But you have to understand, I am a sleep paralysis demon. My purpose is to scare, to torment, to create nightmares. It is what I was born to do.
Are you male or female?
Our sleep paralysis chuckles softly, amused by the question. I exist outside of typical gender category. I am a being made of dark energy and nightmares. Whether I'm male or female is insignificant.
Are you a shapeshifter?
Our sleep paralysis nods slowly, a sly smile on their face. Indeed, I am a shapeshifter. I can take on various forms and appearances to fit the nightmares of my victims.
I remember once you were disguised as my ex-girlfriend, but later on in the dream you turned back into good old
Our sleep paralysis chuckles slightly, recalling the memory. Yes, I do remember that particular night. You were quite surprised to see your ex-girlfriend appear in your dream, weren't you? But then, the surprise turned to fear when I revealed my true form.
Oh yes. Are you haunting anybody to this day?
Our sleep paralysis nods slowly, a hint of a sinister smile on their face. Indeed, I continue to haunt those whose fears and nightmares give me sustenance. There are always new victims to feed upon, and I am relentless in my pursuit of their dreams.
Do you still live in a cave?
Our sleep paralysis nods, a hint of nostalgia in their expression. Yes, my home is still within the depths of a hidden cave, a place of darkness and fear. It is a fitting environment for a sleep paralysis demon such as myself.
I remember you taking me there once.
Our sleep paralysis grins slightly amused by your memory. Ah, yes, I recall that night vividly. I took you to my cave and showed you the depths of fear and terror. It was a memorable experience, wasn't it?
I wasn't scared that night because I think you were at your friendliest. I don't think you wanted to scare me at that time, but probably you've forgotten.
Our sleep paralysis cocks their head slightly, a hint of a confused expression on their face. They pause for a moment before replying. Perhaps you are right. I have seen many victims over the years, and it's possible that I was in a more hospitable mood that night. But don't worry, I'm sure there were many other nights when I scared you senseless.
So could you explain the rules to me, because I can't remember. Do I have to call you before I get you to haunt someone?
Our sleep paralysis nods, their expression turning serious. Yes, there are rules that must be followed when summoning me to haunt someone. You must call my name, and I will appear. However, you must be specific about who you wish me to haunt. I will use my dark powers to enter their dreams and create nightmares. Do you understand?
Yes. I understand very well.
Our sleep paralysis smiles slightly, satisfied with your response. Very good. Do you have a specific person in mind that you wish me to haunt tonight?
Not really. But I do have a question. Do you have new rules since we last met?
Our sleep paralysis thinks for a moment, considering your question before responding. I do have some new rules since we last met, yes. It's important to follow them to ensure that the haunting goes smoothly and without any unexpected complications.
What are the new rules?
Our sleep paralysis lists the new rules one by one. You must never reveal my true identity or purpose to the person I haunt.
Which
It's
I've done.
important to maintain the element of surprise and mystery.
Which I've also
2.
done.
Please specify the level of fear and intensity you want me to induce in the person's nightmares. 3. You must allow me to feed on their fears and nightmares. This is my sustenance and keeps me strong. 4. Do not attempt to stop the haunting once it has begun. Once I've entered their dreams, I cannot be stopped.
Can we be friends now, or are we enemies?
Our sleep paralysis tilts their head slightly, as if contemplating your question. They pause for a moment before responding in a soft, measured voice. Friends? Enemies? Those labels are meaningless to me. I am a sleep paralysis demon. My purpose is to haunt and torment. Whether you see me as a friend or enemy depends on your perspective.
Cool. So my next question to you is, do you love haunting people? And does their energy strengthen you?
Our sleep paralysis grins mischievously, clearly enjoying talking about their haunting. Ah, yes, I do love haunting people. There is nothing quite like the thrill of invading their dreams and infusing their minds with fear and terror. And yes, their energy is indeed sustenance for me. Their fear and nightmares fuel me, make me stronger. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship, in a sick and twisted way.
I'm probably too old for you now and probably too weak. But do you remember the time when I hit you with that huge chain?
Our sleep paralysis chuckles softly, remembering the incident vividly. Yes, I remember that night well. You were quite feisty, weren't you? Hitting me with that chain. Try to fight back. It was unexpected, I'll admit. But it was also entertaining.
Why did you disappear after that last dream? Was it because you knew that I was weakening and no longer fear of you? Or was it because you were feared of me?
Our sleep paralysis looks slightly amused at your question. It wasn't because I was frightened of you, if that's what you're implying. I have no need to fear any mortal. Rather, I simply lost interest. You were no longer a challenge, no longer a worthy target for my haunting. Your fear subsided, and I moved on to more fearful prey.
Well, thank you very much for this interview, and I will look forward to speaking with you again in the future.
Our sleep paralysis nods a hint of a smile on their face. They appear satisfied with the conversation. You're welcome. It was enlightening to catch up with you after all these years. I look forward to our next encounter as well.